Welcome to Season 4 of the Insiders Career Club podcast. Here you'll get advice from industry experts and me, your career insider, sharing how we succeeded in our careers. FeedSpot ranked the Insiders Career Club podcast in the top 25 as one of the best job search podcasts from thousands by listeners like you, social media, and professionals. You know, we're more than job search. We're all about careers too. Hey, it's me, Sindy Thomas, your career insider. And the Insider family knows me as an HR career professional in talent acquisition with a career spanning over 25 years. Are you looking for work? Don't just look for your dream job, because dream jobs come and go. I want to be your career coach. Work with me and let's find your dream career. I can help you with resumes, career planning, with your interview skills, and making a career transition. So schedule a coaching session with me on my website at www.insiderscareerclub.com. Now, coming up next is a great podcast. Stay tuned. Hey there, Insiders. It's Sindy Thomas, your career insider. And our special guest today is Robert Indres, a business tycoon. You don't meet one of those every day. He moved out of his parents' house at the age of 14 and began working odd jobs to support himself. His work experience includes being a lumberjack, assembling furniture, and working on a manufacturing assembly line. He's lived in 17 countries and kept pushing himself to reach the point where he could generate millions in revenue every year. Robert now owns or co-owns 8 profitable companies in multiple industries, and he generates 7 figures every year, providing services to clients and delivering products worldwide. Let's welcome him into the show and learn more about his amazing journey. Good morning, Robert. Welcome into the Insiders Career Club podcast.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for having me.
Well, I'm really looking forward to our conversation. So let's get started. We've got a lot to talk about. So I'd like to start off by just having you share a little bit about yourself with the listeners. So can you tell us a little bit, where did you grow up?
When I was very young, I grew up on a farm in a developing country. So the town had around 2,000 people. And I was very happy. Then I remember we were busy from the moment we woke up at like 6 a.m. or whatever the time was. We didn't really have watches or use them. So you would just wake up whenever you woke up, and then you would get to work. We would have to feed chickens. We would have to walk cows. We would have to work the land. We would have to go pick apples or cherries or whatever, you know, and so on and so forth. So it was a very active lifestyle. And you would be active from the moment you woke up until the moment you went to bed. We didn't have phones back then. So if you wanted to talk to someone, you literally had to go to their house to tell them something, which would give you time to think it through. It was like you wouldn't go for 5-10 minutes walking, just to say hi, like you would have a real thing to ask them or to tell them or whatever. It was good growing up. I really enjoyed it. And then, I just, as time went on, I learned more and I kept working and working more, and I kept moving from city to city.
Okay. So you've lived in many countries. Can you tell us a little bit about moving around, and what country is your favorite place to live in?
So far I've been to 17 countries, if I remember correctly. I can tell you that I enjoyed being in all of them for a little while. However, to live in those countries, there are very few countries I would actually live in. So, I think based on all of the factors that are important to me. So, for example, economy. Where's the economy? How is the average person? What's the average lifestyle? Safety, cleanliness, healthcare, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Out of all of the markers that matter to me, I can tell you that Romania is the best country to live in right now out of, 150 countries that you could compare it to or more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you started off being a farm boy. How did you take that to being a successful entrepreneur? Can you share that path with us?
So whenever I would ask my parents for money, they would always say that, we don't have money. Like you can't get money to buy yourself anything. The only one exception would be books. They would give me money to buy books. And so that was a huge sprinkle of luck on my life that
Mm,
my family, though they were very poor, I mean very, I don't want to say very, they were poor. They still had education very close to their hearts. I mean, they knew that the way out of, a poor life is education. So they let me read, they let me invest in books. And so I kept reading and reading. And I can tell you to this day that reading books and investing into my education has been the main driver of my success. Obviously, other than, my parents and, they put me through school and so on and so forth and so on. So I mean, I did get love. I don't want to undermine that. Both of my
mhm.
parents love me, which is a luxury that many children
Don't
don't
have.
have, right?
Hmm.
So I had two loving parents. I had some teachers that were good in school. I didn't have any childhood trauma, like most people have, or many people have. And so I was lucky to have a very boring upbringing, right? It was
From that
everything was
perspective, yes.
Exactly. So everything was very boring for me when I was younger. I would just work, and when I wouldn't work, I would learn. And so I did that for many years. And eventually, it just paid dividends. When I was an adult, I didn't mind working. I could work, 14, 15, 16 hours a day, or work for 12 hours and learn for 2, 3 more hours, right? And so
Wow.
I just kept doing that year over year for over a decade. And there's only so much you need to do that for, and you eventually become a millionaire.
Wow. Yeah, it's really putting in the work because most of us don't want to work quite that hard.
Yeah. This is a reality. Most people would rather just work a normal job and then
Hmm.
just watch Netflix or play a video game or go out with their beer buddies or whatever, go play a game like football, basketball, whatever. And that is very, very reasonable. That is outstandingly reasonable of anyone to do. What entrepreneurs put them through, the successful ones, I mean, what we put ourselves through, no one should expect of us, right? Because it's not easy. It's very
Hmm.
hard. It takes you to emotional places that you really do not want to go to.
Mm.
But in order to progress to the next level as an individual, you have to go through those, let's say, stepping stones.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the businesses that you have because I believe it's 8. Is that correct?
Right now it's 8. We
Hmm.
we used to have 11 businesses, but we've sold a few. Last year we exited 2 businesses, and total we made multiple 8 figures on those in terms of exit value. Me personally, I didn't make that much because we're like multiple partners, so we share,
Hmm.
right? When you have partners, you share in the winnings.
Right.
And
Hmm.
so, but multiple, like the deal value was 8 figures of those 2 exits. And we really enjoy what we do. I mean, myself and all of the teams that we have. And it's something that comes for us as almost naturally because everyone that we work with is the type of person that doesn't mind working for a living, right? They're the type of people that if you would give them money, like a lot of money, and then you would say, okay, you don't need to work anymore, they would still work. Because I mean, like, what are you gonna do all day? You're not
Hmm.
just gonna binge watch Netflix for 7 years.
You can only do
You
so
know,
much. Yeah.
Exactly. So these are the type of people that enjoy their career, that enjoy working, that enjoy becoming better every single year and learning. So as a result of us being able to attract and retain this talent, we were able to build all of the businesses that we have so far.
Okay, let me ask you a little bit about that.
Please.
When you are looking, I understand the mindset of the individual from a work ethic that you're looking to partner with, to be, to have someone to be a partner. What else are you looking for? I mean, do you look for individuals that have expertises in different areas that you don't have, different strengths? I mean, those are some of the things that, as a director of talent, when I was looking to bring people in for my team, I was looking to balance it out. Is that the same idea when you're looking for partners?
So whether I have expertise or not does not matter, I believe.
Okay.
I think the only thing that matters is what is required of the role or what is required of the business. If the business needs an amazing salesperson, that's what you need to hire for, right? Whether you already are a good salesperson or not. If the team needs an amazing HR person and I don't want to do that work, then we need to hire for an HR person. It doesn't matter if I know how to hire, right? And so whatever the business needs, that's what you hire for. And basically, you always think in advance. You create the org chart based on your vision statement.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on that org chart, you prioritize, okay, who do I need to hire now? So for example, in one business, we might need a customer success person because we don't have one, or we have one and we need another one, right? And so based on that need, you hire. So whether there's balance or imbalance, that matters little, because you can have a company with 20 engineers and one salesperson, or you can have a company with 5 engineers and 20 salespeople, right? Doesn't matter. What matters is what does the business need, and that's the only thing that you think about as a business owner, because your interest is to help that business thrive. And so, if in order for the business to thrive, it needs a new bookkeeper, or if in order for it to thrive, it needs a new operations manager or a marketing person, or whatever it needs, that's what you hire for.
Okay. Let's go back just a little bit. What was it about working for other employers that made you decide to start your own business?
The main thing was that they didn't care about me. I worked in multiple corporations before I decided to do my own business. And the only reason I decided to create my own business, as far as I can remember now, I mean, this was over a decade ago, but as far as I can remember, it was just because I couldn't take other businesses not caring about me anymore. It was just such a shame. I would work, and I would work a lot, and I would work well. I would almost always be the top performer anywhere I would work. And I really didn't feel people care about me as much as I cared about my work and my team and everything. So as a result of that, I said, I really don't want to continue doing this, because I want to work in a company that appreciates its employees. And because I couldn't find one, I created one.
Okay. Yeah. And employee recognition during that quote, great resignation, was a big part of why people were leaving. Sometimes it's money, sometimes people are just driven by money, but the recognition piece was a big factor, as well as people felt that they were doing, because of the pandemic and layoffs and business restructuring, they felt as if they were doing too much, being asked too much. So yeah, that employee recognition is really important.
Yeah.
What would you consider to be the key to your success?
There is no one thing. I'm sure most people listening and most people on the planet, just want that one solution. What I think can be the main driver in my success and everyone else's is the number one success principle, which is to take 100% responsibility for everything in your life. Everything. And I do mean 100%. So if you go to your spouse and I ask you, in your relationship of two people, what's your responsibility to make that relationship successful? If you say 50%, you're wrong. If you say, well, it's 99% because there's that 1% that's them, you're still wrong. Your relationship is 100% your responsibility. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. And until you learn to accept that, you will never have the relationship you want, because you're not taking responsibility for having the relationship you want. The other person does not matter, right? I mean, they matter to you, obviously, and they're an important person. I'm saying that in the equation of the business that I want, I am 100% responsible. The career that I want, I am 100% responsible. The children that I want, I am 100% responsible. For every single thing. My health, I'm 100% responsible. I choose if I'm going to eat pizza or broccoli tonight. Right. I choose if I'm going to go for a walk or work out, or if I'm just going to slouch in the kitchen. Right. I choose. It is my responsibility. My health, my career, my life, my relationship, everything is 100% my responsibility. And so the sooner you accept that, and the sooner you live as such, the faster you will attain success in any area of your life that you wish.
Okay, thank you. Tell us a little bit about the businesses that you have. What are they all engineering businesses?
No, they're very far from it. Just the first business I have is engineering, because I'm a civil engineer by background. So I like building things. And I created my first business in engineering because it was very convenient. I already knew engineering. So I just got clients and I was doing the work. And when I had more work than time, I hired people. So again, it was what the business needed, right? So I was hiring engineers to help me do the work. Excuse me. And then other businesses. So the engineering business has offices in 3 countries, in the US, in UK, and Europe. We have a marketing agency in Florida. We have another HR company in Rotherham. We have a card game for couples that's based in Sheffield. We have a Airbnb for luggage with the headquarters in Manchester. However, we have extended to 4 countries this year. So we were, until last year we were only in the UK, and we had 64 locations. This year we spread to the US, where we now have 15 locations. And we now also have locations in Spain, Germany, I believe, France, and Greece. So we're extending that business quite a bit as well. And then other than that, we have various others. So they're all different parts of the world, different sectors, and so on and so forth. So.
Okay. Now, as a business person and owner, you have made a conscious decision to only work with companies that have certain traits.
Yes.
Can you share those traits with us and why?
Sure. Of course. So we've had the privilege of working with hundreds and hundreds of clients in 19 different sectors, everything from automotive to aviation to retail to healthcare to tourism to anything you could basically think of, we've worked in. So what we noticed is that some projects we really enjoy, and some clients, like some people, we really enjoy. And so the 3 main distinguishing factors that we realized make for a good relationship with us is, number 1, ethics. So a business needs to be ethical. They need to want to not scam people. They need to want to treat their people fairly. They need to want to add value, like real value, to their clients through their products or services or whatever. Then number 2 is ambition. We realized we do not work well with people that want to stagnate, that want to just stay where they are. We work well with people that have a desire to grow, right, and to do more and more and more every year, right? Like, for example, we have a client, when we started working with them, they were the 3rd largest company in their sector, in their country. And in 2.5 years, we took them to number 1 because that's what they wanted, right? And so they added several tens of millions of dollars to their top line as a result of our efforts. And obviously it's them as well. It's never only us. We work together with our clients, right? So, and we tell them, you take 100% responsibility for this, and we will also take 100% responsibility for this. And if both of us do the same thing, we don't complain to one another, you take responsibility, I take responsibility, we will both succeed in driving this forward, right? So that's ambition is number 2. And then number 3 is capital. We have had people coming to us and telling us that, they have very little money, or they want us to work on, performance-based or things of that nature. And I just tell them, look, I've already worked on hundreds and hundreds of projects. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I have my case studies, I have my success stories, I have my bragging rights, I have my references. I don't need to prove to you I know what I'm telling you I'm going to do. So if you believe me, you can pay me and you can enjoy the benefits just like my other clients, or you can decide to not pay me and then we're not a good fit, right? And so capital is something that they have to be willing to invest. If they are not willing to invest capital in their own business or their own growth, we're not a good fit, because we're just so far off. There's just such a big gap because they are not willing to do what it takes to go to the next level. You never see companies like Microsoft or like Amazon or like any business, any real business that grows, not investing, a very, very significant majority of the money they make back into the business, right? That's just how they operate. Like, for example, exactly. Like, for example, everyone on the board of these companies has their own coach, all of them, right? Because that's just how it works. Like, at that level, you need to work with someone constantly to keep you at the top of your game.
Okay, great. So I'm assuming that it took you a while to come up with these 3 traits that you decided are important in your clients. So did you see recurring unethical business practices in clients that drove you to that? I also want to see if that is also aligning with your whole reason for deciding to start a business in the first place, because that goes back to not being valued as an employee. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we now set the expectations clearly from even the pre-sales moments. We talk to people about our core values, about why we exist, about how we want to make the world a better place, about how we put our employees above our clients, and so on and so forth. So we've had clients in the past that would yell at our employees, right?
Oh, no.
And then we would tell them, what are you doing? How old are you? Are you 5? Why are you yelling? Well, because they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they whatever. I'm like, yes, and how old are you? Aren't you past that age when you have to yell at people to make yourself heard? Well, Robert, but they're not listening. Not listening and not agreeing with you are 2 very different things. If they don't agree with you and you don't agree with them, then have logical conversations with them to see what else can be done. Yelling at them will not help, and will definitely not be a good, let's say, perpetuator of, good morale and so on and so forth.
Or a good relationship.
Exactly. And so we've had that in the past. We've had clients come with unrealistic expectations. Like, for example, they would message us at, 2 p.m. and then no one would reply to them. And then at 4 p.m., they would email us again. Like, hey, I sent you an email. Why didn't you reply? And then they would, call us at 6 p.m. Like, guys, what's going on? I've been waiting for 4 hours and so on. Like, dude, what are you talking about? It's been 4 hours. We're busy. We're doing stuff. It's not like we're ignoring you. What are you talking about? Well, I mean, I expect someone to answer my emails immediately. And if we were doing that, no one would be working on the project you're paying us to do.
Right.
Because that's what we actually need to do. We need to finish the project that you gave us that we need to work on. If we're just refreshing our inboxes, every half hour, then how are we supposed to do deep work, which sometimes takes 2, 3, 4 hours, right, in one go? And so basically we'd set those expectations. With other clients, we would realize that they don't care about their clients. So the end user, they wouldn't care about them. And this was clear from conversations that we're having with them. because we would say, okay, but if we do this technically, then the client might have this issue. And they're like, well, that's their problem. Like, what do you mean is their problem? They're buying from you, right? If they're buying from you something that they don't like, it's your problem as well, right? Well, yeah, but it's in the fine print. I mean, it's written there. I'm like, yes, it's written there. I understand, but who reads nowadays, right?
So no one reads.
Exactly. So how can you make sure that this doesn't happen, right? So these are the type of conversations that we would have with people, and if we couldn't reach an ethical path forward, like, hey, this is what we should do to make sure everyone's happy and everyone's in a good place, then we wouldn't work with them, because I mean, it wouldn't be aligned with our values. Mm-hmm. So, and with regards to ambition, people that are happy where they are, the only reason that they would work with us is if they are ethical and they have capital, and they're ambitious differently. Like, their ambition is, I want to step out of my business and retire or do something else, another project. And so then they would come to us so that we manage their business for them, which is one of the services and one of the companies that we have. So we also manage other businesses that are not our own. And then the owner or the CEO can just, do whatever they want to do, because now everything's managed for them. So that's basically it in terms of how we came to this conclusion that these are the types of people that, best work with us.
Okay. Can you share a little bit more about your philosophy on how to treat your employees?
Well, I used to have a philosophy that you should give employees unlimited chances, right? If they make a mistake or screw up, you give them feedback and you help them try again. And then you give them feedback again and they try again, and so on. That perspective of mine has changed because I realized that I would care about my employees much more than they would care about me or the company. They wouldn't care about themselves either, but from a narcissistic point of view, they would care about themselves, like to bill me for 8 hours and to work 6. They would care from that perspective, right? And so, but they wouldn't care about me. And no problem. They wouldn't care about me or my business. So basically, we finally realized that there's a certain type of person that works well in our company, and that's the person that has high levels of work ethic. They are very competent and they are very kind and nice, right? These are the things that we need in the company, or we want. We don't need, but we want. And so if someone doesn't have these, if they don't have work ethic, like they can't wait to, skimp off half an hour here, skimp off an hour there, or they are not competent, as in they can't do the work well, or they gossip between people, or they lie, or whatever. If any of these 3 things happen, and not all of them have to happen, even just one of these, then we have to have a very serious conversation with the person. And if they don't understand and they don't change their conduct with us, then we have to remove them. We have to say, hey, we're not a good fit. You'd rather find employment elsewhere. And so that's what we realized there as well. We need these 3 traits. And if we have these 3 traits, then basically we are incredibly vested in the people that join, because anytime they want feedback, we give them feedback. If they want to grow, we give them coaching. If they want a career path, we talk about their career path and, what roles and responsibilities they can have, how much money they can make, and so on and so forth. So we're basically very, very vested with them as people and as professionals. And we realize that we can only do that with those that deserve it, because there are many, many people that do not. And what we need to become very good at is distinguishing who does and who does not deserve it.
So why is your work fulfilling to you, Robert?
Well, it's not as fulfilling as it used to be right now. It used to be very, very fulfilling when I was younger, because I had this hunger to just do, right? To just grow the business, to just do more and more and more. Yeah, I had that drive to just do more and more. Then by the time I was 25, I made my first million. And then by the time I hit 30, 31, something like that, we passed 10 million. So now my drive is less financial. I still want to make money, don't get me wrong. I enjoy doing that and it's super cool. It's just right now, my drive is about the type of impact I can leave, because we are already leaving impact the way we are. However, I don't get the same level of fulfillment because I see that the things we are doing are less scalable. And so I want to work on something that can scale almost infinitely. And that's what I'm working on right now. The projects I'm working on now can scale like to, globally and, universally, if, we're going to be a
You're taking
multi-planetary
a higher
species.
level.
So
you're taking a higher level look at what you're doing and its impact globally is what you're saying.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. You realize that what's the right word? That saying, a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah. I mean, we're very happy the way we are. At the same time, like, for example, in my engineering business, if I want to help, 1,000 companies in parallel, I need to have 5 to 10,000 engineers on staff, right? Because each client needs engineers, 5 or 10 or however many they need. So I can't scale that infinitely because it's very difficult. And then the project ends and then you need to find another project for the same people so you don't fire them and so on and so forth. So it's not easy at all. And it's something that I gladly do because I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. And I believe everyone that's in business should enjoy whatever it is their business is doing. And in my case, I really enjoy engineering, everything that has to do with building tech. At the same time, again, it's not something that's infinitely scalable. So now I'm looking at other things that I can scale as much as quickly as I want.
Okay. How can someone maybe that has a business and they need the consulting services from a higher level, from management perspective, how can they get in touch with you to learn more about your business services?
Sure. So whether they're a business or they're a professional, right, looking to grow in their career or whatever, if anyone wants to ask me any question or, hop on a call if they want us to work together, things of that nature, we, again, help businesses grow in many different ways, either through tech or through marketing or through operations and consultancy and things of that nature. So they can just email me at robertindries.com, so my full name.com. And they just need to mention the podcast in the title or in the body of the text of the email. And then I promise I will reply.
And I will put that in my liner notes as well, so they can find it.
Thank you.
Well, Robert, it's been delightful speaking with you. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And I hope the audience has picked up something that is of value to them.
I'm sure they did. Especially about some people don't realize, they think people are only working for a salary, and people are working for so much more. There's so much more value that they bring to your company rather than them just doing a job. And to be appreciated for that, that's important to your employees, to be recognized, to be listened to, and to have management take the things that your employees are sharing with you into account on how to run the business, because they're right there seeing what's going on. So those kinds of things are important.
I agree.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well.
All right. Take care. Thanks for listening today. Your support's a blessing. And if you enjoyed the podcast, give us a positive rating on Apple. Now, my podcasts are released every 2 weeks. on the first and third Wednesdays. I need your support. Keep listening and share these career-changing, elevating podcasts with your friends, coworkers, and family. In addition to the major sites, you can find them on my website at www.incitefulcareerclub.com. Do you need career help? I can help you get yourself on the right career track. Sign up for a career coaching call with me today. Now, before you go, let's speak victory over you. You've got a bright future. Good breaks are looking for you. The right people and divine connections are headed your way. And new doors are about to open for you. Believe it and stay open to it. Until next time, take care.